Greetings, Micronational community. Prince Stephen from the Commonwealth of Dracul here with another Micronational video. This is, of course, a casual, personal type of video, a how-to, a suggestion, an advice video for those struggling in micronationalism. Before we get started on some of the biggest issues that most micronationalists face, I do want to remind everybody that there is a free podcast available, Micro Improvement. You can just Google search it. You can find it on Apple Podcasts. You can find it on Anchor FM, and you can also find it on Spotify for preventative measures and for fixing ongoing issues with your micronation. So, of course, as many of you know, a micronation is a self-declared sovereign state, not usually recognized by other countries or macro countries in the world. I'm here today to discuss some of those things that slow down or stop progress in micronationalism based on my experience and observing others, and hopefully this will be a great tool. The biggest mistake that comes to mind when creating a micronation is the creation of too many jobs or too many departments. You see this a lot where someone will create a micronation. They'll create a flag, they'll create a logo, they'll create a title for themselves, and then they open the doors saying that they are now established and they are trying to hire 50 different positions. Most of the time, that is not going to work. The reason why it's not going to work is because as much as people dislike hearing this, when you create a micronation, you are yet another micronation. Out of 2,000 plus micronations all around the world, you're just a plus one, an extra one. You have to be able to prove yourself worthy of having people want to be citizens of your country. And you also have to not only prove that, but you have to give a reason for people to join. How is your micronation different than other micronations? What sets it apart from the others? And if you can articulate that, then you're going to get people interested. For instance, Dracul is a micronation that's based off of Vlad the Impaler. A lot of people, when they think of Vlad the Impaler, they think of Dracula, vampires, things along those lines. And although the vampire aspect of Dracula is not what we aim for here in Dracul, because we're more focused on the accurate historical legacy of Vlad Tepes, people still see that and they think, wow, that's really cool. That's like a vampire nation. It attracts people. It's different. It's based off of history. And that right there is a perfect example, I believe, of how to make yourself different. Now, I'm not necessarily saying that you should go out there and make, your micronation based off of Joan of Arc, but you should definitely aim to make it different from the others. And then once you do that and people start looking into your micronation, slowly but surely you will get people signing up for citizenship. You only want to create the vital positions first. So whether that be Secretary of State, Vice President, President, Prime Minister, King, Emperor, whatever the case may be, just those, okay? When the country's first starting out, you only want the necessities, the bare minimum necessities. And as you receive more citizens and more interest and people start asking, well, can I be an ambassador? Well, now you have someone who wants to fill that position so you can create it. But usually what happens is people create too many positions, too many jobs. The positions never get filled and those departments end up failing. So only fill what people are interested in doing. If you have to, and it happens a lot and it's not unusual, you can have people filling different hats, wearing different hats. And then once you have people interested in those positions, then have that person relinquish that job and let the new person take over. And that way you don't have one person doing so much and they get a break. Please do not blow your money when starting a micronation. There is nothing wrong with going cheap with your micronation in the beginning, because there have been countless micronations that have spent over thousands of dollars and they just started out, and they'll buy over 2,000 custom-made passports. They'll buy all these identification cards. They'll buy, 30 different types of medals and spend $500 on all of that artwork and the physical regalia and so much more. And then no one's interested in their micronation. And then they are left with all these passports and all these medals and all of this material that they can't sell, that they can't get rid of. I can't tell you how many times we've tried to sell the Dracul flag and it just won't sell. Don't blow all your money. Wait a few years, grow and gather things slowly. Spend money a little bit at a time until you get to exactly what you want. Please, regarding money, please do not get into micronationalism in an effort to use it as a type of income. There have been several micronations out there in the past that have been solely created only for the purpose of creating money and selling things. The whole purpose of a micronation, while there are many out there, is to actually create a community, a different type of government, something unique, not a business. And a lot of times when people end up creating a micronation that's only a business and is only interested in profits, they usually end up failing after their 10 minutes of fame. Because people realize, well, I have to pay for this, I have to pay for that, I have to pay for this, I have to pay for that to be involved. There's a couple of micronations that even charge you to become a citizen. But a lot of times you have no idea where that money's going. So you want to also avoid things like that. Never charge anybody for becoming a citizen, because most micronations won't do that. And if you charge, chances are people are going to not sign up for you and go to another micronation that's free to join. Now, you can ask people to donate to your Patreon if you want to set something like that up, but make sure before you do that, you have actual cause and a plan in place, and something that they will benefit before you start asking for continuous donations every month or every year, however you do it. But those are a couple of things I wanted to touch on. As I said, I hope this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to my office. We can certainly help you out as best as possible. Welcome you to the world of micronationalism if you're new. And if you get a chance, take a look into MicroCon, a bi-yearly micronational in-person convention that usually takes place different places around the world, usually one in Europe and one in North America. So best of luck to you, your micronation. Hope it goes strong. And don't forget, just because your micronation becomes stagnant doesn't mean it's a failure. Stick with it, and as long as somebody stays in your micronation and is active, it's surviving.